Boom. You know Jared Vanderbilt gonna be doing this thing every single night. You know Jared Vanderbilt's gonna be doing this thing every single night. Now, a great time to cut is when you see your teammates get into separation moves. When you see them get into a step back or a spin move or a move where you're kind of getting into space and it's like you're about to get into a shot, then you cut. Because if you're the person that's guarding you isn't help, they're gonna be waiting for that player to shoot, or they're gonna be trying to come over and help a little more, thinking they are about to shoot, but they're not really. Vanderbilt cuts as AD gets into that spin. Draymond's occupied, and now he has a good angle to get that leg. Pete Vanderbilt on that screen. It wasn't even a screen. It was a handoff. But a lot of players get confused in the situation, and since they're already moving up into that handoff, they'll try to hit that player that's guarding the person they handed the ball off to. And so now you get that moving screen. But notice that Vanderbilt, he releases it early. Instead of trying to hit DiVincenzo, he just opens up and he just rolls to the rim. Better angle right here. You're gonna see it. Boom, he doesn't touch him. So now it leaves that same angle that DiVincenzo has to chase over the top, but he's just not getting hit. And so you're avoiding that moving screen. Vanderbilt pick up play. Damn near half court. But how did Clay get by him? Without a dribble move, bro. You don't need to use dribble moves all the time, especially when you're up against pressure. You don't need to use dribble moves. He ain't using no crazy pace or nothing, but it was literally just an attack. It was just an attack. You don't need always to use a dribble move to be able to get by somebody. Hey, and AD's been looking like AD, like I was saying to start. AD's been looking like AD. And I feel personally that if the Lakers are able to get D'Lo back, then I feel like they could be able to somewhat hold their own. Because like I was saying, AD's looking like AD. And you could tell by the type of shots that he's making and the type of shots that he's taking. You could kind of tell that he's kind of getting back into his rhythm. And so I feel if they get D'Lo back, and then Brown probably still won't be back, they'll be able to keep themselves afloat somewhat. At least somewhat keep themselves afloat. But only time will tell, bro. Only time will tell. Boom. Easy read, right? Easy read. Easy reads. Now, the only thing that I see with players that's conflicted with this is that they see the help and they see these reads and they kind of hesitate and they try to do too much. Just make that pass. Just let it go. Just make that pass. Don't waste time when you already see the help coming in. Don't waste no time getting that ball right back out to the player that's open. Don't try to do no crazy angle. Don't try to do too much in the paint. And by the way, I live stream all my breakdowns. So if you want to see these videos a day or two early or got any questions for me, want me to watch your film, make sure you go hit that link in the description, go follow, and also subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Let's get right back to it. Just kick it right out. Get it right to that open player. That was Lamb's fault right there. That was nobody but Lamb's fault because he should have just shot this. That's so much space. We all would have shot that. But he attacks. And now he gets Draymond caught up with this moving screen. Because if he just shot it, you ain't got to worry about Winnie Gabriel trying to get off and them seeing his arms tangled up and whatnot. You won't see none of that. And peep how after he made this play, peep the bench. Peep the bench. Everyone's telling him to shoot that. That's probably one of his assistant coaches. One of his primary assistant coaches. If you ain't know, I peeped this from JB Bickerstaff, I believe. He was like, all assistant coaches are prioritized to a certain group of players. Assistant coach back here, maybe one of Anthony Lamb's primary assistant coaches, telling them to shoot. Everybody knew he should have shot that too. Hey, let's just watch Steph's movement. Drop back. It's just such a flow that that Golden State plays with, that he plays with. And just always fun to watch. If it's not, then you just don't like Golden State. You're just a Golden State hater. I'm not saying it's a bad thing if you're not a fan of the Golden State Warriors. You're just not a fan of them. That's all it is. But you already know that Steph is always going to try to relocate, always try to get back to that three-point line. But he always able to do so by having a calm pace, calm demeanor, and not selling anything before he goes. So in situations like this, where he's kind of coming down right here, most guards will kind of relax and just drop back. But Dennis Schroeder, he did a great job on Steph for the most part last night. For the most part, he did a great job. You ain't see him fall asleep a lot of times. Appreciate that follow. Appreciate that follow. Go right back to Steph Curry. Like I was just like I was saying about Steph's pace. Just like I was saying about Steph's pace. He's calm. He's relaxed. And the timing of which he goes and makes his cut is the key to this whole play. Because he's good, jogging across half court, 40% speed, probably about 40%. Then he doesn't go and get into that sprint, that like 80% sprint to make that back door until he hits attack range. It's just that if you sell it too early, they're gonna be able to make a jump out on it. And so he continues to move at that same speed, same pace, same speed. Shoulder slows down a little bit. Boom, he makes that same thing. He makes that cut. Pete Vanderbilt, right here on the slip though. Right here on the slip. You got Clay on your top side, right? Got Clay on the top side, and Pete right here, he's holding on to his jersey. He's grabbing onto his jersey. You can see him grabbing onto his jersey right now. But you've got to do a better job of getting his arms off of you. Because you get his arms off you, you throw his momentum the other way, you're able to get quicker downhill, and now he opens up that slip, forces Looney to come over, then maybe even a lob over the top to AD if Looney comes over after that. So literally just a swim move away, a throw off away from being able to have that lane to be able to attack. Hey, there'd be so many times that Draymond just has a free lane to attack the rim that it's just like, what the hell? Like, he's just wide open. It's because his teammates just bring so much attention. They get to running, then people start thinking of Steph, they think of Clay, then you got Poole over here. So now it's like, okay, we got to get these first and then just forget about getting Draymond. So all this to say, nobody's stopping you. Why stop? Why give the ball up and nobody's stopping you? I can see why you give the ball up if someone's ahead of you in transition. But if you pushing that pace, you pushing the ball, why give the ball up and nobody going to stop you? Nobody picked you up. Why give the ball up? Great way to find the angle on that seal by AD. Peep AD. Boom right here. Watch Lamb. Boom, they made the switch, right? And what AD does, he kind of guides Lamb underneath him. Notice AD's left hand. Guides Lamb underneath him because he's already recovering. He's already sprinting downhill just to stop this roll. And so AD takes that left hand, just guides him a little bit just to get him underneath him, clear him out. And now he has good positioning. Seals him on his backside, goes over the top. There's just no way that Lamb or Curry will be able to get a hand on that. Great spacing by Vanderbilt. Great spacing by Vanderbilt. Now, when you're coming from the short corner, somebody attacks going to this baseline, circle to the middle of that rim because that's going to be the angle. The help is going to come over and take away this baseline. But if you get around to this middle, that gap is going to be right there. So that's where you should circle underneath. And notice how Vanderbilt is able to avoid touching Steph as he circles up. Because if he hits Steph too early, that's going to alert him and tell him, okay, somebody's coming up, and Steph will maybe be able to get up and make a play on that. But he doesn't make any contact to him and is able to dump that down right between them. Boom. Rebounds sometimes is just about who wants the ball more, who wants to get it more. That's really what it comes down to a lot of times. It just comes down to who wants to get the ball, who's in the highest pursuit of the ball. And most times, Jared Vanderbilt is in higher pursuit of the ball. He's going to want that ball every single time. Anytime it comes off the rim. Hey, boom. That's why you always recover back to your defender with active hands, with high hands, with hands in the passing lanes. Because you'll never know if you'll be able to make a play like this. Whereas if they throw it over the top, they think it's high enough, but it's really not. You just stick your arms up, boom, you get a hand on that. And I'm going to show another example later at which different situations and where you should put your hands and where the ball may go to, and then you just throw your hands and you may be able to make a play on that. And then he takes it all the way down and he gets blocked by Clay, but hey, it happens to all of us. We all get blocked. Hey, boom. So I was saying this a little earlier about the hezzy pull, being able to have it out of both hands. It's going to make you so deadly because now you're pulling up from both sides, left wing, right wing. From that side, the defender is not on. You have more space to get up into that pull up out that right hand from that right wing because defenders are going to try to keep you at the middle So now their hands are going to be more so to the middle of your body. So if you only got that left hezzy pull, it'll be maybe a little easier for them to get to it. But if you got that right hezzy pull, if you're a righty, then now you can still be able to knock that down and be able to have more space to get that shot off. And not have to worry about them being able to strip that ball on the way up. Hey, and Reaves was huge. Reaves was huge because he came in as a secondary point guard with the second unit. Because usually they would have D'Lo, then have Schroeder in that second unit. But Austin Reaves stepped up and played the point guard in the second unit, and he did a good job of it too. He got pressured sometimes, and it got a little tough and whatnot, but it's really may just not be what he's completely used to. But for something that's not really his primary play style as an initiator, the playmaker, he did a really good job of it and helped him get that win. Now peep the defense by DiVincenzo. Peep this defense. Boom. He's working. And mind you, boom, notice. He just trimmed away 13 seconds of the clock just by pressuring Austin Reaves. That's great defense by DiVincenzo. Trimmed away 13 seconds. They're not able to get into actions or get into any purposeful movement until really 9. And that's a whole 15 seconds now. Because now this is your first look. Knocks it down. But as a team, you got to be like, damn, we got to make up for him. He just worked his tail off this whole possession. He just guarded full court, 94 feet, pressured, took away about 13 to 15 seconds away from the shot clock. And then we just let him get this easy shot like this. That's tough. You're just throwing away his work. You're just putting his work in the trash. Like I was saying, he was playmaking. He was playmaking. Was not giving away his reads. Not giving away his reads. Came off the screen, got to this middle, and it wasn't until here that Klay Thompson realized he was throwing that pass. He wasn't staring it down the whole time. Great recovery by Schroeder. Great recovery by Schroeder. Great recovery by Schroeder. Loose ball foul right there by Draymond. But Curry gets by him, right? But instead of doing the thing where you kind of just try to get around the player and get around their hip after you get beat and whatnot, Schroeder stays on that inside of Steph. So if he tries to snake this and split it, his hand's right there, and that's how he's able to get a hand on that ball. Because instead of trying to just circle around, get back in front, he gets a hand in right into that other pocket. So now he can't really bring that ball over to his right side because Schroeder's sitting on that instead of him trying to focus on getting back in front when he would not be able to because Steph is already going so fast downhill. He wouldn't be able to get back unless he slows down. And then boom, Troy Brown. Troy Brown had four tray balls last night. Troy Brown had 4 tray balls. And the thing with this new additions, the addition of Malik Beasley and D'Lo, this takes away pressure from Troy Brown from him putting weight on himself to say, oh, damn, I got to knock down every single shot I take. I got to hit every single shot because I know I can hit 35%, 36%, but these weigh more because I have no shooters right next to me. That was probably how he felt at the start of the season because he was like, I may just be the best 3-and-D player, but he's not the best 3-point shooter. So anytime he shot it and he missed, held a little more weight and kind of put a little more pressure on him to knock down those shots. But now he's got other guys that can knock down shots right next to him. He's like, okay, I'm not the only person who can knock down some shots. And so he's shooting these shots with a little less pressure. So now they're coming off a little bit better, and he's going to be able to make more shots than he would have before. That's great pace. Now you've seen that spin back and then that crossover and whatnot. But I'm telling you, pace is more important than having dribble moves. Before you even think about learning dribble moves, learn pace. Because pace could work by itself with no dribble moves. You could be a straight line drive player and just use pace and it could work. But if you use a whole bunch of spamming dribble moves with no pace, it ain't going to work. Pace is the key. You got to start with pace. Then after you learn your pace, then you've got to get learning to some basic dribble moves that you can mix in with pace and not overcomplicate the dribbling side of it and still be able to maintain using your pace. Then once again, like I said before, as you're recovering back to your defender, hands in the passing lanes. Just like Schroeder did right here. Hands in the passing lanes. So Schroeder is on the top side of Curry. Curry flares out, and this pass is usually going to be thrown as a bounce. So Schroeder puts his hand, left hand down, Gets a hand on that, gets a steal off on this. That's the bad crash by AD. Look at this. Look at the numbers now. All because I know he knew where the shot was going to go. What are the odds he's able to get this shot right back? Because there's already defenders all the way down low. It's not on. Whereas instead, if he just shot this shot and went straight back, this three possibly could have just never happened. Could have just never happened, really. Because boom, Clay right there, you would have been able to match up. No worry about another help defender coming over. Clay Thompson wide open three. They still win this game though, because AD's been looking like AD. And one thing I'd like to do to judge whether a player has been able to get back to what they were and what they're capable of is their ability to make tough shots, especially for players like AD's caliber. And on top of that, being able to make tough shots, being able to make the big time shots. Those are the two things I really look at in terms of, is a player back? Are they really in their funk? Are they really in their rhythm once again? And that's one thing that is able to tell me, okay, AD is getting close to where he was pre-injury.